The proposal for constructing a labyrinth started as an idea after the death of Will Schramm in April 2013. Will was 24 when he died. He grew up in Alamo, was a graduate of Monte Vista High School and college in California. After college, he moved home and struggled some to get his adult life started, like many young people these days. A few times he joined his mother Dory's spiritual practice of walking labyrinths in the Bay Area, and he found that this practice grounded him and gave him a sense of centeredness and peace about where he was going and where he belonged in the universe. He began to invite his friends, and he spoke to them about finding meaning in this spiritual practice. And so after Will died, the idea began with memorial gifts, gifts made to the San Ramon Valley United Methodist Church in memory of Will. We initially thought about putting the labyrinth on the church's property on Danville Boulevard, but then we realized that it could have more benefit to the entire community if it were located on a more public space. And so we have begun to see it as a proposal for an artistic installation in Hap Magee Ranch Park in Alamo and Danville. Labyrinths are often confused with mazes. They are different. Mazes are games that are created to confuse and puzzle the mind. They're actually made for people to lose their way on as a matter of fun. But labyrinths have a single path to the center. Labyrinths are intended to calm the mind and soothe the spirit, to encourage introspection and contemplation and prayer, and to remind the walker that the journey is as important as the goal of getting to the center. And so in a way, it becomes a metaphor, this labyrinth, to help us find our way through life. Labyrinths are ancient. The first labyrinths that have been found were constructed almost 4,000 years ago. The same design or a similar one appears around the world in societies that did not even interact with one another. Some in Russia, some in Spain, Italy, India, and England, from as early as 2500 BC. And there are also labyrinths in Native American traditions. The model for most modern-day labyrinths is the one that is carved into the floor of the Cathedral at Chartres in France. It was built around 1200, and many religious pilgrims, thousands really, have made their way there over the centuries. Locally, there's a labyrinth just like the one in Chartres at Grace Cathedral on Nob Hill in San Francisco. Today, labyrinths have been installed in a number of different kinds of settings, particularly in places where people might come to still their minds and find serenity in the face of either public or private stress or dis-ease, often in hospitals. Walter Reed Hospital in Maryland. There's a labyrinth at Pacific Medical Center in San Francisco. Labyrinths are often found in other kinds of public settings as well. They bring people together around issues of justice or making sense out of common cultural experiences. There's a public labyrinth in Knoxville, Tennessee, and just after 9/11, hundreds of people poured into the labyrinth and tried to make sense out of what had seemed so senseless on that day. There are labyrinths in many public areas all over the country and the world, and Google has installed a labyrinth on its campus in Mountain View so that it's available to employees to help in their mindfulness about their work. Often labyrinths are used as the site for sacred moments and public and private ceremonies. What people do with labyrinths is simple and straightforward. No special instructions are needed. Walkers typically walk to the center of the circle from the edge, following the lines, which necessarily involves a circuitous, non-linear route. Often they spend some time at the center to reflect and gather some wisdom, and then they return to the edge by the same path they came in on, so that they come out of the labyrinth with whatever new sense of perspective they have gained from their own personal experience. And so this becomes a metaphor for life. For some people, it's a profound spiritual experience, and for others, it is simply a quiet and relaxing practice. There are other labyrinths in the Bay Area. This is one in an urban center in downtown Oakland. This one is perched off a small plateau right off the main coastal trail at Land's End in San Francisco, with beautiful views of the Marin Headlands and the Golden Gate Bridge. There are also a number of labyrinths located at Chartres in the East Bay, but there's nothing quite like the artistic installation that we have proposed for Hap Magee Park. Our proposal includes a design to make it a beautiful enhancement of public space, as well as a place of meditation and peace and inspiration for people of all ages, backgrounds, and intentions. No. This labyrinth will be built in between the path that runs by the gazebo and the creek in Hap Magee Park. This is a rendering of what the labyrinth will look like, not exactly in the location for which it is now planned. This will give you an idea. The labyrinth is 42 feet in diameter. The artist we have selected to install and design the labyrinth is Marty Kermeen, who is one of the foremost experts in the world on the construction of stone labyrinths. His company is in Illinois, and he will be with us himself to do the installation. He'll be here in the area for about 7 weeks constructing the labyrinth. The total cost of the labyrinth is approximately $95,000. It will be made of concrete paving stones installed on a base, which will be created with 15 inches of excavation into the soil. The cost includes expenses for the artist installer for the 7 weeks that it will take to install the labyrinth. Our proposal anticipates that the entire installation will be a gift to the community and to the city of Danville, and that we will undertake regularly scheduled maintenance of the labyrinth. As of the end of March 2014, we had already collected a little over $21,000 toward the cost, and we expect that we will raise the remaining amount necessary for construction over the next few months so that construction can begin in fall 2014 or winter of 2015. This picture shows you the colors and the kind of concrete that the labyrinth will be constructed of. This labyrinth will be an offering, a gift from members of the San Ramon Valley United Methodist Church and friends and family of Will Schramm to the community, to this Alamo Danville community. We believe that this will be an artistic installation in the park and add value to its beauty that is already there, as well as be a significant resource for enlivening this public space and offering a place for respite and serenity.